time for another chapter of Sailor Moon. This time, Chapter 31 Sailor Pluto. This one starts as it's all dark and stormy amongst the big school, and shit's about to hit the fan. I'll get to the cover art. First and foremost, I will get to the cover art after the end of this, finish up talking about this chapter, but since this is Volume 7, we start off again as there's the school has massive storm clouds, and we see that Sailor Pluto is there. She's talking with some of the other students there and stuff, and one of them says, actually, it's what's his name? I completely forgot his name. Fuck dog. I'm not. He's the kid. He's the guy who works at the game shop. You know who I'm talking about. But he's talking about how how amazing Sailor Jupiter is and stuff, and the one girl asks. One girl who is like, it looks like he's dating with him, and says, "Who's Sailor Jupiter?" And he says she loves plants and stuff, and it's kind of cute. He's on a date with his girlfriend and stuff. But yeah, so Pluto is at the school now as a student, and so the two and the guy and his girl, they both look for a restaurant, and he says, "Let's go to one of the buildings." She says, "No, that's okay. It kind of is creepy with all the storm clouds there and stuff." And yeah, she's right. He says, "Oh, it's just a storm coming and stuff." But anyways, next we see the research laboratory with Dr. Tomo and with the evil. We see our main villain, the main cause of all this, says to do you can. Even if where is it? He says eliminate those Sailor Guardians as soon as possible, even if they are protectors of the planet. We must merely endure until I regain my strength. So yeah, this is the new evil villain, and they're giving him power to regain his strength, so he can take over, so he can make this his new planet. We see our next villain, who is at level 404. I tell you, can provide the highest quality of host. Of course, I mean the host of the Sailor Guardians, the Master Desires. I shall also acquire that power that is so similar to can't speak. So later we see Chibiusa in her class, and all the clay models all the clay models have been made, and of course hers is the best looking out of the bunch. And now she's supposed to give her thing as a gift to someone. One of the other students gives her a Sailor Moon pencil holder. Honestly, it looks kind of like you could make that into a really cool mug, but to be honest, the design for the pencil holder actually looks pretty good. It's Sailor Moon in a clay form. It's actually really well designed. Wonder if they had many adult supervision helping with that design. But anyways, moving on from the damn pencil holder. Anyway, that she's going to give it to a friend of hers, and two of her other friends get a little jealous about that, a little upset. Next, we see Sailor Saturn. She's not Sailor Saturn yet, but that's what I'm going to call her, since, again, Japanese names I'm terrible with. And she's walking, and suddenly one of the students trips her and says she probably doesn't have any friends, and they say, "Whoops, I'm so sorry, Hotora Tomoko-senpai. Should we help you pick up your stuff?" She picks up a metal pencil holder and crushes it. Hotora just crushed a metal pencil holder, and the girls kind of look really surprised. We see Usagi thinking about everything that's gone down and stuff, and she wonders, she wants to find out where they're living and talk with them. She says they're Sailor Guardians like us. Why do we have to act like were fighting each other all the time. I want to see them and ask them. Both Sailor Jupiter and Sailor Mercury leave, and Usagi realizes she has a supplementary class. I really can't speak right now, so yeah. Pardon me, I'm not going to be able to speak all that much. But we see that Sailor Jupiter is at her club. It's a plant club. And they talk, and she's talking to this one guy, and she talks about her favorite plants. And how there's a new plant that doesn't require any water. Next, we see that Sailor Venus is talking with Luna Monarmist and researching Professor Tomo, and seeing his daughter, and seeing his and they check out his daughter, who's a 6th grade student. And Usagi realizes that's the girl that Chibiusa and her helped out. Next, we see Sailor Jupiter and a few of the other Guardians go into the flower shop to look at this plant that doesn't need any water. And after that, we see that. Then next we go to Usagi's house, where Chibiusa is getting ready to go visit her friend, and Usagi says she'll go too, and to try to talk to her. After all, Usagi makes the excuse because it's raining, but it's to talk with her about her father and stuff. Talk to Sailor Saturn about her father and stuff. And they go to the house, and Chibiusa just kind of goes through the front door. And Usagi goes, "Wait, Chibiusa, you can't just waltz into a person's house." "Well, I can't find the intercom." "No worries." And then this one lady, who I believe is Horo-chan's stepmom, says, "What business do you have here, you two trespassers?" Usagi and Chibiusa are like, "Oh, boy, that's not good." Then Horo-chan says, "They're guests of mine, Koro-san, Horo-chan." "But that girl never has guests," says Koro-san. Next, we see Chibiusa give the Holy Grail to Hotaro-chan. Usagi's kind of upset. She wanted her to give it to Momoro-chan. I can't believe I said Darien. Never say Darien again. And she says, and the reason why is because both Momo-chan and Usagi helped with it, so it wouldn't be fair to just give it to. It would be unfair to give it to just Momo-chan, which is actually kind of sweet. It's nice to see that she cares, that she's thinking about them both, unlike in the anime where she would be a complete total brat and just give it to Momo-chan. No, don't worry, I'll be getting into the anime later once I finish with this arc. And then we see that Sailor Saturn, we see Usagi use the restroom, and then Usagi uses the restroom, and then Sailor Saturn, Holo-chan, falls down, and she suddenly touches Chibiusa's silver crystal, and for a moment she wants to take it, and then she snaps out of her trance, and she goes, "What was that? Just now I suddenly was yearning for Chibiusa's amulet. It was like somebody inside my own body was talking." Then one of the villains sees a legendary silver crystal, and Usagi decides to go snoop around and gets caught by Professor Tomo, and he goes, "May I ask what you're looking for?" She goes, "I got lost looking for Hiro-chan's room." "Ah, are you friend of Hiro's?" "Hiro, Papa, it's time for your health screening." "Ah, then," Usagi says, "we'll just be on our way. Bye-bye, see you later." So again, they leave, and they see what looks like, and Chibiusa gets a glimpse of what looks like Sailor Pluto, and can't believe, and wonders what she's doing there. Which is a legitimate question. What is she doing there? She's supposed to be guarding the time. She's supposed to be guarding time, but we'll talk about it later. Anyways, Sailor Jupiter buys that one plant. Sorry. She buys that one plant, and she gets tired and falls asleep. And then when she wakes, then Sailor Venus wakes her up, and they notice that towering plant put out a bud already, and lo and behold, the other plants are all dying. And so they kill that one plant that destroyed all the other plants. They go back to the garden. And Usagi sees Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune again. She traces after them. Uranus shuts the door. And Usagi says she lives here in Montal Ward 2. I didn't realize we were so close to each other. Hiro-sen, even though we're Sailor Guardians, why can't we fight together? Why won't you say anything? And we see that Sailor Jupiter says, Usagi, we need to do it right now. Is to stop the enemy and reach from spreading, right? So they go back to the flower shop where a lot of the people are passed out, and they see all these flowers growing and straining them. We see our villain, and we see that Pluto's knocked out. And Sailor Uranus and Sailor Neptune feel this, and they say, somebody very close to us. One of our own. And suddenly we see awakening from Pluto, Uranus, and Neptune. See their symbols on their forehead awakening again. And then we see Momo-chan. It says, the time has come. And Momo-chan goes, what's going on? Just now something somewhere has just awoken. Everybody transform. Moon, cosmic power, moon, prism power, makeup. Everyone transforms. The Guardians transform. And Usagi uses her, Jupiter uses her Coconut Cyclone, and Usagi uses her Moon Spiral Heart Attack. They don't have effect, and then Chibiusa says, I want power too, I want a weapon, and I want to save Sailor Moon and fight right beside her, Mama! And she gets a moon rod. And she uses the Pink Sugar Heart Attack, which ultimately hurts the enemy. And then we hear the Dream Scream. No, not Dream, Dead Scream. And then the enemy is defeated. And we see Sailor Pluto. And Sailor Pluto has appeared. And that was the end of the chapter. So that was a pretty good chapter. The series, and you can tell it's definitely starting to get to the starting to get that final dark moments, those final dark moments. Well, it's actually about halfway through, but this is where everything's going to really start to pick up. And I'm looking forward, you guys definitely looking forward to the next couple chapters, because it's going to get crazy with these next couple chapters. But anyways, let's talk a little bit about this cover art, shall we? What do I think of the cover art for this volume of Sailor Moon? It's Sailor Uranus on the cover, and it's okay. I'll be honest, this is not the best cover. I'm really not a fan of this cover, to be honest. I expect, Sailor Uranus, they could have done a whole lot more with her cover. I feel like it's just the problem is I think there's too much white. And again, with the other covers, especially with the next ones coming up, are gorgeous covers. So this one is a bit disappointing. I was a bit disappointed with this cover in general, but all around I did like the chapter. The cover art's not the best, but anyways. Yeah, good chapter so far. And this is Ash saying so long. I'm out. Good night.